So I'm here in beautiful Sedona, and today I just wanted to spend just a few minutes talking about something that's been on my mind for a little bit, and that is the principles of money. And this is the metaphysical principles of divine feminine and divine masculine. And so maybe you've heard of these terms tossed around and wondering, okay, what exactly does that mean? Well, this video is for you. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So first of all, a lot of times when we think of money, we kind of lump it all into one thing, right? Just being rich or wealthy or whatnot. And sometimes when we struggle with keeping money, we're wondering what's wrong, right? So we have a large income, we have an increased income, but why is it so challenging, for instance, to keep and grow the money? Or maybe you are very good at keeping your money and growing the money, but you have a hard time with just manifesting an increase of income, right? Different multiple sources of income, things like that. Well, that's because there's a difference between skill set. So the skill set that calls in the money or brings in the money is very different than the skill set to keep it and make it grow. And so that's the differentiator here, right? So, and that's where the divine feminine metaphysical principle comes in. See, the divine feminine is all about receiving money, okay? Calling in money. That's where the law of attraction type of activities come in, which is, the thoughts and the feelings. When you have the thoughts and feelings through maybe affirmations also, journal writing, and so, and even prayer, asking. These are all tools that are used in the divine feminine, and combined allows you to manifest the money, manifest increased income, gifts, multiple streams of income, things like that. So in the divine feminine, there's just naturally a belief that that you're worthy of it, that you're good enough. And because you believe that you're worthy and you're good enough for the money, then it's easier to call it in. So the divine feminine is really letting go of the how and just focusing on the what, okay? And I'm going to repeat that. Divine feminine is about letting go of the how and focusing on the what. So this is someone, for instance, that says, I remember when I was going to school, and I just randomly said, I'm going to work for a large company. And if I'm studying information technology, I'm going to work for the best. At that time, I said, I'm going to work for IBM because that was the best. And everybody looked at me like, there was even the college administrator had never had a student that did an internship with IBM, but I just knew that that's what I wanted. And sure enough, because I said the what, and I had no idea of the how, I had no idea. Turns out that I knew there was a headquarters in New York, but turns out that in Southbury, Connecticut at the time, where I lived in Connecticut, there was one literally just 25 minutes away from my house. And so I started an internship with IBM, and the college admission counselor helped me, and everything just fell into place. But the first thing that I wanted to point out was I was able to draw in that increase of income, certainly from just saying what I wanted. And I just trusted the process, that it was just going to happen. There was just no doubt in my mind. And so there is an underlying understanding that you have to feel worthy. You have to feel good enough. You don't question. You just have this deep faith. So again, what are the tools that are used in the divine feminine? So these are the, when you hear people saying, oh, affirmations, do your affirmations, or do your journal writing, or you've got to think about it, you've got to feel with emotions, and then you're able to manifest and draw it in. All of that is the divine feminine. So like everything else, there are extremes, okay? And so yes, there is an extreme in the divine feminine, and that's what we call the wounded feminine, the wounded feminine. So what's the wounded feminine? Well, in the feminine energy, it's all about pleasure, right? But there is an extreme to that. There is an overindulgence, maybe an overindulgence of shopping, or an overindulgence of any type of thing, maybe squandering money, right? Not being able to hold it. When money shows up, you spend it all. So you hear about the people, lottery winners, right? They call it the curse of the lottery. So they make all this money, right? That's the divine feminine. They're able to call it in, but they're not able to keep it. They spend it all. And because they don't have, the masculine, we'll talk about that. But so it's the overindulgence in the spending. It's not having systems in place to be able to hold it or make it grow, and also not even having the knowledge and understanding of how the skills of that second piece. This shows up, for instance, if you make a lot of money, but you don't have much to show for it. So there's not a lot to show for all of your hard work. And if you're in this place, then you are likely in a wounded feminine place. And so a lot of times when we put words to things and we describe things, it's easier for us to understand where these are coming from, what are the skills that we have, and what are the skills we need to now attain. So this is the divine feminine and the wounded feminine principles. So now let's talk about just to give you an example, a story about the wounded feminine. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I started my career at IBM, and then I spent several years working in IT as a project manager, and I was able to make very easily six figures income because I managed multi-million-dollar projects and had a lot of responsibility. So one thing I struggled with, though, was even though I was making a lot, I did not have a lot to show for it. I didn't have much savings, definitely didn't have investing. I didn't know or spend too much time thinking about 401ks or Roth IRAs or anything like that. Just focused on making money and spending, and I just trusted that money would always come, and that everything else would take care of itself. But I knew that it was a problem. It was never a problem. It became a problem when I lost my job. And then when I lost my job through layoffs, because at the time they moved everything over to India, all of the work and stuff. And so, I found myself in a position where I had to wake up. I had to question myself, like, all this hard work, where is it? I had nothing to show for it. And so that's what started my journey to understanding, okay, what am I doing wrong here? Okay, I'm able to call it in, I'm making a lot of money, but why am I not having anything to show for it? So now let's swing over to the other side of this, and this is the divine masculine. So what is the divine masculine? Well, if the divine feminine is the what, then the divine masculine is the how. It's a little chilly here. I think it's like in 50 something degrees. So I've got goosebumps. But it's nice. So in the morning here in Sedona, it's really cool. It's like a sweater weather, but during the day it gets super hot, like the 98 degrees weather. So that's kind of why I'm wearing this top and shorts, because I know it's just going to get warm pretty shortly. So the divine masculine is the how. Okay, the divine masculine is the how. And so what it is once the money comes in through the divine feminine skill set, it's the divine masculine that allows you to keep it and make it grow. So how so? Well, because the masculine is the structure. It's the systems and the habits that you have in place to be able to hold the money and make it grow. So, for instance, your savings account is that divine masculine structure. Your investment accounts is a divine masculine structure. What I ended up doing was, when I realized that I had a problem with if the money was in my checking account, trust and believe I would spend it. So what I did was, because I was aware of my behaviors and habits, I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. When my check comes in, I don't even want it to go into my checking account. I'm going to make it so that my employer directly moves a certain percentage from my, it's windy, moves a certain percentage from my paycheck. You know how they do direct deposit, goes into your checking account? Well, I set it up so that a percentage goes straight into my savings account. So it's an amount that I don't even see. It doesn't even touch my checking account. Because before, I had it so that everything in a lump sum would go into my checking account, and then I would take some of that and then manually move into my savings. The problem is the manual part never happened, because I would, spend it on things that I needed, right? Expenses, day-to-day, things like that. So anyway, with that system in place, I was able to save. And then from that savings account, I moved the money into an investment account. So I had a system in place that every 2 weeks, I'd have things in my savings, and then from there, it would go once a month into my investment account. So I had a structure in place. So that is the divine masculine. What's the wounded masculine? Well, like I said, everything has extremes, right? So the wounded masculine is really is the extreme of saving, the extreme to the point where it's just being very frugal. Have you ever seen those people that are so frugal? They have money, right? They maybe have a paid off house, but they don't go out to eat. They really don't enjoy life. They don't go on vacation. And they don't really have that joyful pleasure, enjoying, and just fun aspects of just enjoying life with money, enjoying their money. They have a hard time spending money guilt-free. So if you ever catch yourself maybe buying, a luxury bag, or maybe just going on to a nice restaurant, and you feel a certain sense of guilt towards that, that's the wounded masculine, because it's the extreme. It's like saving is good, investing is good, but then there's a level of you're going way, way off the deep end here, and you're not being flexible, and you're not using money in harmony. You see, money at the end of the day it has no intrinsic value. It's the value we place on it, because money is not tied to gold or anything of any substantial value. So money is, the value of it is based on what we as a society, our community, say is the value of it. So we were working in a fiat currency. And so because of that, and also too from a metaphysical side, money is just energy. And from a quantum physics perspective, money is just energy, just like anything else. Okay, so there's no need to place so much of ourselves and so much focus on it. Just understanding that, just like everything else in life, it has to flow, and it has to be done in a harmonious way, right? And so it takes balance, a balanced and flexible view of money. So that way we have a healthy relationship with money. And ultimately, that's what the takeaway of this video is, that you're watching, is I want you to take away the importance of having a healthy and balanced perspective of money, and knowing that it really takes two, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and the merging of the two, the male and the female, just like everything in life, creates something, right? The process of creation has these two elements to it. So I'm going off to an event now. I just wanted to take a few minutes and share this thought with you. Also, I want to encourage you, click on the link in the description box below. I have a money mastery program that goes a lot more deeper into the money psychology and the financial literacy, and I will see you there. Oceans of love. Till next time. Bye.